Bring in the mega cow.
I'm afraid there's only one thing for this. It's the mega cow.
Can we have some very long moves in the chat, please?
My eggy pal did a big poo. I will marry my gun before I let anyone else win. What the fuck? Get fucked, Christ, eh? Falling straight into the sea. He was my father. Someone ate my egg. I was sad. Gun. It's so warm here in Australia.
Live long and prosper. Conan the Barbarian. Glory hole. Okay, sure. Frank Grimy Grimes? Are you just making stuff up now, King? Yeah, I got to relive that because I didn't recognise the acronym again.
Mug tree, mug tree.
Yeah, can I please see some TYFTTPPILTSNPPITMTAI? The Gub.
I am standing.
Go to the table.
The table. Okay.
Look at the cup.
You say blue cup, but there are three.
Look at the cup.
You say blue
Look
cup,
at the
but
cup.
there are three. You say blue
Look
cup,
cup.
but there are three. You say blue
Look
cup,
cup.
but there are three. You say blue
Look at the
cup,
cup.
but there. You say blue
Look at the
cup.
cup.
Clem.
You say
Look at
blue
the cup.
cup.
It's got
You
that
say blue
taste
cup.
that you
You
just
say blue
won't.
cup.
Do you think there is any way to make this game good or pleasant? Because currently a game, there's a lot going on, but I think it's viscerally unpleasant to be in it. No, no, no. What is the name of the song that Ava Max released in 2018, which became her breakthrough hit and topped the charts in 22 countries?
Can I get that in a sentence?
Yeah, was that not a sentence? Do you think there is any way to make this game good or pleasant? Because currently a game, there's a lot going on, but I think it's viscerally unpleasant to be in it. No, no, no. Egg.
Egg.
Egg. Egg. A good Pete is a dickhead. Egg. Got it. I don't know if I needed dialogue to tell me about. There are books here. Okay, I didn't want that anymore, but that's where that is. So now I'm looking for the other thing. To do that, because I will.
Mug tree, mug tree.
I will do it. This is the most Look at this. This is the most unreadable chat I've ever seen in my life. This entire stream trying. Do you like that it can handle a draw? The old poll couldn't handle a draw. This poll can handle that many draws. Oh, why is it saying that many times?
Fine.
Okay. Can I count externally?
Yes, if that helps you, yes.
It genuinely might.
Just round one.
Okay, what am I scared of? Okay, let me think.
Count, Ben! I was going to talk a little bit about the Fringe tonight. The telly is deactivated, Albrock, but nice try. Was that puppy long or puppy short that got... it's faded out now. Well, the short-haired mall era is here to stay because I don't really produce enough hair in this...
Timer complete.
Egg. I'm bringing in Mugtree. I just rolled a randomizer, Josie. It could have been anything that came out. Honestly, be happy it's Mugtree. If it wasn't Mugtree, look at what else is in the noun thing. You should be happy it's Mugtree because it could have been...
Mugtree.
Find. Strangely. Aha. Issue seen, issue understood. Sean,
Thank you so much for triggering the welcome bear. I love seeing new faces in the chat, and I love seeing this community grow from strength to strength.
Watch your cow weathering.
Moo, they like moo, yeah.
Moo, more moos. They're just mooing on that.
They just like moo, yeah. They just like hearing moo.
Moo.
I can give you that. I can give you a
What sort of music do cows?
They just like hearing the word moo.
Moo.
Yeah, moo, that was good. Moo, that's good, yeah.
Moo.
They just like hearing the... prison for you. Egg. Red? Egg. Am I going to have to make a Mugtree prison for you? Red. Am I going to have to make a Mugtree prison for you? Do you think there is any way to make this game good or pleasant? It's currently a game, there's a lot going on, but I think it's viscerally unpleasant to be in it. No. Come on in!
I get it! That was mine!
Bring in the mega cow.
I'm afraid there's only one thing for this. Find. Strangely. Aha. Issue seen, issue understood. Sean,
Thank you so much for triggering the welcome bear. I love seeing new faces in the chat, and I love seeing this community grow from strength to strength.
Right, randomize. Do you like that it can handle a draw? The old poll couldn't handle a draw. This poll can handle that many draws. Oh, why is it saying that many times? Egg. Egg. A good Pete is a dickhead. Egg. Gotta move the thing. Mouth in. Mouth box. Mouth colouring. Mouth it. Mouth now. Mouth on. Mouth so.
You'll make us dresses for free, right? That is. You're a seamstress, you are.
That's right, you tell her. You'll make me one too. Oh dear, I don't see how I could do a thing like that.
We're doing this just to be obliging.
Turn it into lowercase. And then we'll do a find and replace. So we'll replace all. We'll take the string answer. And then we replace speech marks with nothing. And then we just save it again as answer. Okay, and now... Oh. Let me... No, stop voting for cock and balls. Hey, wait, what problem do you think we're trying to solve here? Do you remember what led us here?
If you keep voting for cock and balls, we'll have to do it again.
Egg.
Egg.
Egg. A good Pete is a dickhead. Egg. Gotta move the thing. An interesting request. I'll try to generate some anime-style monologues for you. Here are 4 possible examples. I can't believe it! This is the best shower gel ever! It feels so refreshing and soothing on my skin. The scent of the tea tree and mint is invigorating and relaxing at the same time. It makes me feel like I'm in a spa in the Nordic regions. Investigate the rebel base. I shouldn't have laughed during it. Check on what those rebels are doing. Those fucking idiots. Check on what those fucking Egypts are up to. You there. What's your name? Bonko? B now, right? Okay. Oof. Cover. Oh my god, where am I at? Carve. I don't know if I needed dialogue to tell me about. There are books here. Okay, I didn't want that anymore, but that's where that is. So now I'm looking for the other thing. I got it in my head once I learned that I could pick up and throw, that these things were for picking up and throwing, but... Oh well, I'll never know now. Oh well. Did it give the plate back? Oh no! Outside.
Why? Oh. Operator, are you also feeling nervous? My pulse is racing, even though I don't have a heart. Okay, I'm coming.
Hey! As 0 foot away from yourself, and that's your profile in the top, and then in a grid formation, reading across like a book, it tells you your closest person by pure distance.
Right, and so you were on Grindr. It didn't ping you. You went on Grindr to see what would.
Beg you. You. What
Euthanize
do you want?
brain.
Who are you?
Dignitas brain.
Don't worry. I'm just a waitress.
Dignitas brain.
Ah, someone from JSL.
No, don't lock that in. Thank you, Maggie, for breaking the chain. Curb, yay, zipdom. It would be a lot more visible if it's a short phrase, like a 4. Curb, yay, zipdom. Curb, yay, zipdom. Crab. Isn't. Huh? Phrase. It's the perfect game for me to start a journey, look at chat, become discombobulated, and then take the same corridor 7 times. Was that our shared secondary? The shared secondary, yeah. Yes, I was nuts age. Ooh, maybe I could put my boy in one of these weird. Camellia!
I get him!
I'm afraid there's only one thing for this. Oh yeah, hello. Nice to see I've got 2 members of my core demographic in the audience tonight. This one goes out to you guys. Put it there. Can you? Why am I up here? Why am I always up here? If many members of my core demographic are out there in the crowd tonight, just kiss your first 2 fingertips and put them up against the screen. I'll know. I'll know. I'll feel it. Aha! I hit myself too hard. I've gone too high again. I've never done anything wrong in my life. .crash, .bang, .wallop. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with kissing your fingertips and putting them up against the lens. Don't touch the lens. It has a hard time enough autofocusing as it is. But you can put as much spittle as you want really close to it. That goes out to you. That goes out to all the core demographic in the chat. If you think you're my core demographic, just put IYCD in the chat. I'll know what it means. All the true fans will know what it means. How's it going? Oh, okay. It's all kicking off now.
Ah, Dr. Clem. It's got that taste that you just won't forget.
Jag gillar att se nytt folk i chatten och jag gillar att se den här gemenskapen gå från styrka till styrka.
Need to learn this one. It's on the pile. I don't think you want too many of me to call demographic. I don't think you represent any specific demographic. I think you're far too individualized. I've got some good news for yous. I have all the music from Shadows and Memories loaded into OBS. So now we can enjoy this mood. It's the entire soundtrack of Shadows and Memories, randomized, shuffle played in its own little playlist. So I thought that would be good for setting the mood. And if you check the channel points redemptions, I've taken 3 bits of Ike's audio from Shadows and Memories, and they're now redeemable audio channel point redemptions. I think they cover a lot of moods, ranging from...
Sorry, kid. Damn, hey, where's the fire department? No worries.
They range from "Sorry, kid," down "Where's the fire department?" to "Hey, now here's a guy with no problems," and one where he goes, "Damn, this is not a good.
Man, this is not a good time."
And I think all 3 of those probably will have, they'll be contextually relevant over and over again. Thank you so much for the welcome, Bear. I love seeing new faces in the chat, and I love to see this community grow from strength to strength. Ah! Ha! I know the script. Thank you, Josie. That's
Sean. I'm not upside down. Thank you so much for triggering the welcome bear. I love seeing new faces in the chat, and I love seeing the community grow from strength to strength.
It's you, Harry. It's you. You've done this.
Thank you
so much for the welcome bear. I love seeing new faces in the chat, and I love to see this community grow from strength to strength. Who is that? Yeah, who is that? Did I suck it? What do you mean? Thank you so much for triggering the welcome bear. I love seeing new faces in the chat, and I love seeing this community grow from strength to strength. I'm having to do it in advance of the welcome bear, and I find that so hard. You know how hard it is to pre-talk. Hello, thank you for the welcome bear. I love seeing new faces in the chat, and I love to see this community grow from strength to strength. Thank you, Gnome Jerome. Happy 2nd birthday. Seatbelts on. Get ready for a night of Crypt-O-Cartography. However, if I may, I would like first to talk about my woes. I want to treat this like an old school podcast, an old school American podcast where the host talks about, oh no. And that's all my woes. So thank you for people who listened. Thank you for the true fans, the core demographic. It's great to get those woes off their chest, to know there's people who support me, who believe in me, out there listening and helping me out. And of course, how's everyone doing out there? Woes from the void? No one needs to avoid my woes. So now that I've got them off my chest, I think they shouldn't trouble me any further. I think there was a tech problem. It's fine. It's fine. If I was flickering or something, as long as people could hear me, there shouldn't be a problem. And of course, I'm so grateful to all my viewers. Specifically, I'm grateful to the Niceys Metronome James Smithy Corden, the Sodden Unicycle Red Quixote, the Gelatinous Pro, another TTVV viewer, the Titular Eagle Musk Maggie FBK, the Swaying Symbol T-Flow, the Sodden Goose Stacy JT, the Horse Internet Artafki, the Sticky Gunpowder Imperial Halloumi, the Niceys Bum Adben002, the Harry Hardy of the chat, well, it's Harry Hardy, the Glistening Frog Corpse, Oriana, the Salty Motorway Service Station, H. Hades, it's me, Earth Champion, Sean Morley, More Vision 2022, non-entrant, A Good Pete, the Sodden Lemon, Donk7, the Glistening Spike, Hondo Z, a lot of work, frankly, Mighty Fighty Shushbugs, the Communist Tires, Morty Rays, Egg Rebel, 84_Natalie, Ava Liversidge, the Horse Bongo, singular, Cardboard Children, the Defined Ginger Nut Biscuit, Dylan 212121, the Titular Ant, Josie Russell, and that's it. Yes, the two music tracks clashed awfully. It was simply a terrible clash. I did not enjoy. No one else is here? What do you mean? Did it miss someone very obvious? You were involved. Were you not in it? Were you not in it? Was Harry in it? My mind turns to absolute peanut juice when that's on. Harry was in it. Well, I can only interpret what Harry's... Oh, okay. Sorry, I was just interpreting it as some kind of pointed sarcasm. Sorry, it just didn't occur to me that would be... It seemed like it doesn't count you if on mobile and the app isn't open. Yeah, it also doesn't count you if you're not watching and you're at the shops. There's loads of problems with it. Honestly, I'd like it to count just everyone in the world. What were my woes? Oh, it's done now. I don't want to bore the people who listened the first time around. My woes are all fine. Anyone in the chat got any woes? Anyone in the chat got any woes? Woes?
Hey, now here's a guy with no worries.
Wobes? Wobes? Anyone got any wobes? I'm going to open up the chat if anyone has any wobes they want to share. I'm also, yeah, go wobe, go brobe. Oh, choosing random wobes. It's what? Oh, fucking hell. Oh, okay, of course, because... Any wobes? Okay, we've got a poll open. Vote 1 for no wobes, 2 for 1 wobe, 3 for 2 wobes, 4 for more wobes. Now, if you have one... Don't get it the wrong way around. It's not vote 1 if you have 1 wobe. 1 for 0 wobes. 2 for 1 wobe. That is confusing. And I want to be pointing my little digits around, but I didn't design the poll. If it were me, I'd have it vote 0 for 0 wobes. Can we get infrared for wobes, please? Oh, an infinite referendum for wobes. Yeah. What are your woes? Yeah. If anyone's got any woes, you need to get them off your chest. I got all of my woes off my chest, and my soul's gone 3 times bigger. I can't fit it in the house. What are your woes? Let this poll finish before you vote in that, but you can still populate that, and then when that's finished, you can vote on that. Oh, Maggie. Maggie, we don't talk about cock and ball torture here. Yeah, there we go. Harry's put a nice, finally, something nice, something that all the family can enjoy. Oh no, it's not non-cock and ball torture, it's cock and ball non-torture. No, that's still rude. That's still rude. Jennifer's behaviour recently? Who? Am I really the only wobeless viewer who put that in? You don't have any wobes? Non-cock and... So there is a ball. That's a full stop on that one. Who's Jennifer? Okay, what do we... Cock and ball torture. Cock and ball non-torture. So just cock and balls, but they're not being tortured. Then there's non-cock... What's the other one? Oh, that one didn't get added. So there's non-cock and non-ball, non-torture. That's good. But there's nothing left, is there? There's nothing left after you've gotten rid of all those. So you could say non-cock and non-ball, non-torture, but there is a current bun, for example. And then there's Terry Woban and Terry Wobon. And now you can vote if that means anything. It's not really a poll, is it? You're just telling me your wobes. Non-cock and non-ball torture, but there is a current bun, for example. I'd vote for this one, honestly. I honestly think this is probably the most... got the biggest mileage. Oh, I voted for the wrong thing. I worked in a talent show and we gave our acts to the producer and he was sick of it. He asked our name and we said it aristocratic. Thank you for the vote, Haplin. Jennifer's behaviour... Haplin? Thank you so much for your first time chat. Do you know who Jennifer is? Because I don't know what the fourth option's about. You can't even see my face, can you? You can't even see me. Hello, Haplin. What made you vote for? Anyway, as a special twist, and because I'm in an incredibly obtuse mood, tonight's Crypt-O-Cartography will be a multi-ball special, whereas previously there's been a general sense amongst contributors that you ought to wait for the last person to finish before starting your story. There's no real limit or etiquette on how many people can come in at once now, so feel free to all pile in shouldst thou'st wished. Egg. I hope they sorted out as well, to be honest. I'm sick to the back teeth of Jennifer's behaviour. What else have we got? Vasectomies, Jennifer. The stream might contain no ghosts again. God, this music's doing my head in. Thank fudge I have a calendar. Alright, let's see what's won. I think it's going to be Jennifer. Yeah. It's really caused us all quite a lot of woes. Well, thank you. Hello, who we got? Hello. Let me line you up.
I need to switch back to being not a doctor.
Of course, of course. Oh, yes.
Does that change me? There I
Yeah.
am. Now I'm a rabbit.
It's Rabbit Josie. Let me position you not so in the sky.
Put me in the leaf mulch where I belong.
Yeah, here you go. You can be with the detritus, but it's all good stuff. There'll be centipedes for you. Rabbits like those, I think.
They actually like the shredded brown leaves. We bring them in piles of dry brown leaves, and they nibble through them over time. It's nice.
As a rabbit, would it bother you at all if I talked about a dead rabbit?
Not at all.
There's been a dead rabbit. You know how I live near these giant Flemish rabbits?
Oh yeah. I'm aware of the big Flemmy boys.
Well, one just died on the trail, and no one's done anything about it. And I've got to watch literally every stage of its decay. And I think I mean, the bones are starting to come out now. I don't think I've ever gotten to watch such a large mammal through all the stages of its decay like this before. And it's
There
such
is an excellent Peter Greenaway film called A Z and Two Noughts, which has a lot in common with David Cronenberg's Dead Ringers, because it's about twin doctors. But yeah, A Z and Two Noughts has a lot of very good time-lapse rotting animal corpse footage in it.
Oh, very nice.
That's a Josie recommendation.
I'm a big fan of Peter Greenaway. Is that who we're talking about, the director?
Yeah.
The one I couldn't make it through was the one where everyone's talking about the ornithological event. Do you know what I mean?
I'm not sure I do.
I can't remember the title of it, but everyone's talking about some kind of event that happened, and it's clearly the event related to birds.
That's the Falls. That's one of his early experimental ones, isn't it? Yeah. That's before he started doing things which had conventional plots and actors. That was one where it's just him listing made-up people for 3 hours.
And I enjoyed it. I just couldn't. I think I had a bit too much port, and I feel that was the one that lost me. That was the one that got away.
That's the mammoth of his early works. There are things that I think you might enjoy the perversity of something like Vertical Features Remake.
Oh, I was going to say Vertical Features Remake. I love a walk through H. I love something like that. A walk through H.
Oh, hello. Sorry, I cut out there for a bit. Yeah, Walk Through H is good. I like that one. He does kind of circle back to that. The Tulse Looper Suitcases is a 9-hour-long series of films that he made more recently that also has like a CD-ROM briefcase-based exploration ARG element to it.
Ooh, that sounds good.
It's pretty, yeah. I've only experienced it as a series of films, but it was a much more involved, convoluted thing. Anyway, did you want me to talk about a paranormal experience I had?
Yes, please. Let's do the traditional workflow. We'll get it on the map, then we'll hear the full account, and then we'll...
This came up originally because there was some suggestion of a ley line being built that would pass through Paris. And it reminded me of a Paris thing that happened. So I would say, if you want to whack a pin anywhere, whack it in the Eiffel Tower, but you may want to move it later.
Okay, so we'll whack it in the Eiffel Tower with an acknowledgement that it may need to reposition.
The discretion will be yours as to whether it relocates later, based on how you feel about the story I'm going to tell you.
Okay, this is exciting. Okay, I'm going to pop a pin here. I'll just put scary thing, and now I'm primed to...
I wouldn't say it's scary. I would say it's paranormal. It's unexplained.
Okay. I like that. I like that we need to make clear that paranormal involves anything outside of the norm and not simply ghosts.
Yeah. So the way I'm going to start my explanation to you is to ask you a question. How young do you think a child is when they first learn about the Eiffel Tower without having visited it?
When they first learn is a hard one.
What age is the Eiffel age of child development?
So I'm guessing when we say learn, right? Because I think when you're a kid, loads of information can glance off the old bonds. But we're saying when it goes in, when it's the right... We're getting back to when it's the right... When the slot's wide enough to permit the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, the point at which you could walk up to an average child of that age and say, tell me what the Eiffel Tower is, and they would be able to give you an idea of where it was located, what it looked like. They would be able to spin a 3D model of it in their mind's eye.
Oh, okay, that's a bit higher than I thought it was. I was just thinking...
Yeah.
They recognise the term and they can place it in France.
It specifically requires the 3D model spinning in the head. It's not complicated. It's not like a multi-polygon kind of clown's head spinning in the mind. It's the Eiffel Tower. You could do that with a few basic anchor points. But still, I want to know what you think the age is that a child can do that.
What year in school is an 8-year-old in normally?
So I think children start school at 4, don't they? So that would be year 4. If you start with reception, then year 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that right?
Yeah, maybe that seems a bit old for Eiffel Tower, but by that age, I'd feel confident your average kid on the street could give it a little spin in its head.
Okay, so you're saying about 8, right?
Yeah, and they'll know it has some relationship with a baguette.
Okay, and maybe a string of onions and a hooped shirt.
And a mime.
And a mime, yes. Yes, a clown falling down. So, I can precisely give myself an age in this story because it was a family holiday. Driving from the ferry, we took the Poole to Cherbourg ferry. So I grew up in Poole in Dorset, and it's a harbour town. It has a, not particularly well used, but it does have a ferry that travels to Cherbourg in the north of France. We were then taking a journey down to the south of France, somewhere fairly near to, I think is it Saint-Tropez that's on the south coast that I'm thinking of? I'm just going to bring up a map. This is something I'm...
We have a map. Saint-Tropez. We've got Montpellier, we've got Marseille.
Yeah, Saint-Tropez. It's just to the west of Nice. That's where I was thinking of, yeah.
Oh, where's Nice? Where are we?
Nice is right on the right coast of France before it turns into Italy.
Okay, and then I go west of
right.
Nice.
Yeah, it's left of Cannes.
Is it little?
There it is. Down. It's gone off the bottom of your screen now.
Saint-Tropez.
There we go.
Okay.
So yeah, this is the general itinerary. The vehicle was an Austin Montego Vanden Pla.
Okay. Austin
which is
Montego.
Austin Montego Vanden Pla, PLAS.
What decade are we in?
Oh, we're in the 1980s, my friend.
Wow. Wowie zowie.
Yep.
Look at this one, it's dirty.
So my parents, when I was born, had a mustard Capri, which is a beautiful car. They then, when they got children, they got an Austin Montego Vanden Pla. Vanden Pla is specifically the one that's not a Vanden Pla. Vanden Pla is a kind of station wagon, so it's the same front, but then it's long out the back like it's a car Toblerone, I suppose.
You'll have to have... Oh, like this?
Yes, that's the one. Yeah. So we actually had one of them which had the 2 rear-facing seats in the back eventually. So we went from having a Capri, which you could only really seat 2 people in the front of it because it's a kind of sports car. Then when I had 2 younger siblings, we got one of these, which was a 5-seater. And then after that, we got this exact one here, which was the 7-seater, where you have 2 seats that fold up in the back and 2 kids sit in the very back of the car, taunting people behind them on the motorway.
And sorry, I am just getting my head around the whole children sit in the boot but facing backwards.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether that would any more be legal.
Well, I remember in the 90s. I remember spending a lot of time in a VW camper that I sat in the back as a child, and it simply did not have any kind of seatbelt.
Oh yeah.
There
you
wasn't
could put
even
anything loose in the back of a van.
But not only that, essentially, like what was on the back, what was there to sit on was storage. So it was like wooden storage, and on top of that there was a cushion, like a long cushion that went the full extent of the wooden surface. However, nothing secured the cushion to the wood. So if there was any harsh braking on the motorway, the cushion would, if anything, have less friction. You would be more keenly sliding off with the cushion than if you just sat on the wood. So you'll be sent.
The variant of that I've experienced is that my dad was a plumber, and he had a Volkswagen Transporter van, which was primarily empty in the back for him to put tools, pipes, lead work, whatever in the back. But he could convert it for family holidays so that it had 3 people sat in the front row and then 2 seats in the back, which would slide back and fold down into a bed. And yeah, those were fairly stable seats, but if they weren't correctly locked in place, if there was a sharp braking, you would fold back into a bed while you were driving along.
It's amazing any of us are alive.
Yeah, pretty much. So, the Austin Montego that we first had, we were going on this lengthy car journey down through the length of France. The entire back where those 2 smiling children are sat in that image, that was full up of the clothes, the holiday paraphernalia, tents, what have you. And we were taking this journey all in one go because that's the kind of parents I had. They're like, this is the cheapest way to get to the south of France, but we don't want to waste any time. So we're just going to drive continuously from Cherbourg all the way down to Saint-Tropez. And I'm sure on your map you could calculate what the Cherbourg to Saint-Tropez distance is.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's quite long.
Cherbourg.
And get an estimate of how long that is as a car drive.
Saint-Tropez.
So yeah, right at the top, the very, very tip of the tippity top of France to the very bitterty bottom.
Oh, so you've got 2 choices. You can go into Paris to use the benefit of the better roads around there.
This is what your maps program has given me is perhaps the perfect map. So yeah, both of those routes are about 12 and a bit hours.
Yes.
My dad drove that in one go.
Yes, amazing. That's dangerous. That's a dangerous thing to do.
So we're ramping up the data. I told you this wasn't a scary story, but there are aspects that are psychologically quite traumatic.
As soon as I saw this car, I became scared, and I have not been calm since.
Yes, my way of judging whether I like the look of a car is, I think, if I had a toy version of this car and I had to poop it out, would it hurt? And when you see it like a Fiat 500, you think that would come out right easy into the porcelain bowl. But if you see like a Volvo, you think, oh, that's going to sting.
I'm sorry, I've forgotten what this tests for. What?
It tests for whether I like a car.
Okay.
Whether I like the aesthetics of a car on whether I would poop it.
And so what's your top car by this metric?
The Nissan Micra, the very bubbly Nissan Micra. I always like that one.
Okay, let me just take a little look. Nissan Micra. Huh, it's got a big bulge. It does have this bulge that you wouldn't like.
No, it's the second from the left, that silver one.
Yes.
The original, very, very smooth, very lozengey Nissan Micra.
Yeah, now there's a suppository if ever I've seen one.
Yep.
In fact, let's actually pull up a suppository and compare the shape.
So yeah, this red one that you've got on screen is it's got too many ridges for my liking, but the little grey Nissan Micra that was on there is my ideal version.
See, it's got the smooth bulge of a suppository, I think. Anyway, please continue. You're on your way to Saint-Tropez.
Yeah, so this is a long journey. My dad is a lunatic and is staying awake for like the whole duration of. I think he slept a little bit on the ferry, and then we drove overnight to get to the south of France. And during that time, me and my 2 younger siblings slept in the back of the car. Now, you've got 3 traditional 3 seats in a row in the back of a car, but we were sleeping as laid down as we possibly could. My youngest sibling, my little brother, was less than 1 year old. He was still a baby, and he was in a baby chair on one of the back seats of the car. My second sibling was 2.5 years old, and she was lying across the other 2 back seats of the car, which left me, and I had just turned 5. and I was lying in the footwell on a mattress made of bags of disposable nappies, like Pampers.
Sorry, so are you down in that footwell, or are you down in this footwell?
So the rear-facing seat area on your image, that was full of our luggage, our clothes, our suitcases, what have you. My parents were in the front 2 seats. In the rear 3 seats, you had 1 seat taken up by baby brother, 2 seats taken up by younger sister, lying horizontally along those 2 seats, and then I laid horizontally along the 3 seat widths, but between the rear and the front seats.
Okay, incredibly dangerous. Gotcha. Like
100%.
Yeah, like if there was not even a crash, just a mishap, that's the end. That's the end of the family.
Yeah, we would just be minced. But I mean, potentially, quite like the juices would be absorbed by the nappies, but it would be still quite minced.
Mm-hmm.
So here is the supernatural element of this story. I was sleeping on the nappies in the footwell behind my parents' seats, and
Do you remember the brand of nappies?
It would have been Pampers, I imagine.
Uh-huh.
And I would have been able to lay on my back and look upwards through the sunroof above the front seats. And I can very distinctly remember driving underneath the Eiffel Tower and seeing it approach with the 2 legs and the point, and then going underneath the 4 legs of the Eiffel Tower, looking up through it, and then passing under and travelling the rest. I can remember waking up and seeing this. However, you can't drive underneath the Eiffel Tower. There is no road underneath it. And my dad, the following day, when I said to him, "Oh, it was great when we drove under the Eiffel Tower. It was so good to see that," and he went, "Oh, in the end, I chose the other route. I didn't go through Paris."
Wow.
So the question is, a 5-year-old, could a 5-year-old have so vividly dreamed the 3-dimensional passage underneath the Eiffel Tower? Because I remember the full rotation, traveling, not just picturing the Eiffel Tower front on and rotating it in the Z-axis, but rotating it from underneath. I can remember that in crystal clarity, but it never happened, and I don't think I'd ever seen sufficient imagery of the Eiffel Tower to be able to have conceived that myself. So essentially what I'm saying is, do you think I was some kind of preternaturally gifted mind envisioner, or do you think I was somehow haunted by a giant metal edifice?
So, just to boil it down and reiterate it and make sure all the details have gone to my head.
Mm-hmm.
You went to sleep on a journey that you believed would go through Paris.
Yes.
You believed it would go through Paris.
I was avidly studying maps. I was fascinated by the idea. I ideally would have liked to have stayed awake for the whole journey. I wanted to experience this insanely long journey. I'd looked at the World Atlas before and drawn my lines of what routes we could take. I thought, oh, we should go through Paris. We should go through Paris.
Hang on.
Obviously, I was,
Well, you're describing to me a child who's probably hyperlexic, loves to read, is going big on maps. Do I believe this child would have gained some of a general basic awareness of the Eiffel Tower?
I think it's more. I think the reason, the thing I was trying to, I would certainly have seen pictures of the Eiffel Tower. I'm not debating that. It's whether I could realistically
spin it in your head.
The Eiffel Tower in my mind. Yeah.
But Josie, hang on. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow. But aren't you always, as an adult, flaunting your ability to rotate objects in your mind? Aren't you? Isn't that your?
I didn't have that. I didn't always have that. I didn't.
No.
As a baby.
You practiced it? You went to some sort of gym to do this?
I was quite a late bloomer, Sean.
I think if you can rotate objects,
tie my shoelaces.
I think that mental processing, imaging, spinning stuff in your head, I think you can either just do it or you can't. I don't think you can practice it. I don't think it...
What age? What age are there babies in their cribs looking up at the mobile spinning above them and re-spinning it in other dimensions?
And so, okay, let me just ask a question.
This is why I'm leaving it up to you to decide what has happened, because I can't categorically state that I had that ability at that age.
And so you accept you would have had some... Hang on, sorry, because I feel like we're blurring two questions together. I think they should be distinct. Can I verify you knew what the Eiffel Tower was, but now we're...
I would have known what I would have seen that. I believe I had a puzzle of Europe which had lots of cartoony landmarks on it. So like a little drawing of the Parliament building, a little drawing of the Tower of Pisa. But I think that I feel like at this point I would have had more experience of a kind of graphical abstraction of the Eiffel Tower than I would have had, a full 3D rendered model available to me.
Yeah, so it's not at all about whether you knew about the Eiffel Tower. You did. It's about whether a 5-year-old's brain can spin the Eiffel Tower around. And did you, at a later point in your life, see an image of the Eiffel Tower from underground and you were like, that's it. That's what I dreamed. Did you ever get confirmation?
Yeah, I did later on, when I was nearly an adult. I went to Paris and I went under it and I went, I'm sure there used to be a road under here, but yeah, this looks like how I remember it through that sunroof.
Oh, of course, you may have forgotten it, and then years and years later, seeing the Eiffel Tower, you'd be like, yeah, shame there's a big road through it. And you're like, oh, when did they get rid of this? And a French person goes, we've literally never had a road through this. It's the Eiffel Tower.
I mean, the other possibility is that my dad really is Chevy Chase in National Lampoon's Vacation, and he had some kind of crazy off-road adventure where he drove under the Eiffel Tower despite the fact that you're not allowed to.
To me, it sounds like an absolute attack of the paranormal.
Oh, I'm glad to hear, thank you. I feel vindicated.
I mean...
I feel vindicated in that you've proven that I'm not some kind of weird super brain 3D rendering child, but actually I'm perfectly normal, just haunted by giant metal buildings.
I have never said you are perfectly normal. I still regard you as a laser beam. But I think on this specific issue, I think it can only be explained through the paranormal. I think you're probably a victim of the ley line. And I think the ley line now, we can also say, sends cultural information.
Oh yes, of course, yeah. It's like an early kind of magical internet.
Yeah, the pre-internet. Tim Berners-Lee's ley lines. Tim Berners' ley lines.
Yes, that's perfect. Yes.
What was it? Aston Montero?
Montego.
This spooked.
And it's Austin with an AU, like Austin, Texas.
Thank you for the follow, Des Lennis. This spooked child dreamed a fully rendered, rotating Eiffel Tower, despite only having a mild 2D conceptual vocabulary of said tower. Until, as yet, no satisfactory explanation has been found. Can I just ask chat, this music really benefits the vibe, I think. Do you think is it doing your head in, or do you think it's really creating a paranormal investigation feeling?
Are you playing the music from that long-legged blonde man game?
I am. I have the entire soundtrack just shuffle playing.
It has a flavour of Frank Zappa's synclavier material from the end of his life, when he was just like entirely on his own, programming bonkers cartoon music on an early synthesizer.
It has all of that, but also it changes from a lot of very specific, no holds barred vibes. Like, we've just moved from discordant, swelling strings to a kind of lazy, rubbish, smooth jazz.
I would heartily reckon that is exactly like late period Frank Zappa. I would recommend
perfect.
Civilization Phase 3, one of his later works, which is pretty much exactly what you're describing.
Okay, I'm going to get this image exported, call it Eiffel, and then I'll read you out the pros, and then we can evaluate whether it's up to snuff. A spooky family holiday from the ferry to Poole to Cherbourg. Realise that sentence isn't well constructed. Boarded the ferry from Poole to... How do you spell Cherbourg? I suppose I can consult this map.
You've got Cherbourg correct.
Lovely. From there, the spooky family journeyed to Saint-Tropez on an 11-hour car journey in an Austin Montego.
Austin is with a U, like Austin, Texas, rather than Sean Astin.
This spooked child dreamed a fully rendered, rotated... Well, we can say rotating, because you were sort of journeying underneath it. Eiffel Tower, despite having only a mild, in brackets 2D, conceptual vocabulary of said tower. As yet, no satisfactory explanation has been found.
I think it would be also worth clarifying that we didn't actually travel anywhere near Paris.
Yes, of course. When the child awoke, their father informed them that they had been nowhere near the Eiffel Tower. There we go. I think that's a full story.
Yep. Yeah, perfect.
I think it conveys... Oh, and we need a title as well. Oh, and luckily, I think I can... and I now understand why you think I might not... I might think the Eiffel Tower's not really where this took place. However, I think it's as good as anywhere else.
It's the source of the haunting, let's say.
It's the source, isn't it? And also, it's not worth really just picking a random stretch of French motorway. And I'm sure this will create a more satisfying ley line overall. As I remember, it's possible to like pick an icon, but I think I do that afterwards. Eiffel. What's a good? Here, we'll just do an infinite referendum. What should this?
I mean, I feel like the proximity to the Seine leads to some pun work that the chat could do for us.
Yeah. Well, I'll outsource this.
Yeah. I think we've put enough work in.
Obviously, it would be good if this took place in the Seine to really lend itself to some very simple but effective wordplay. Terrible news coming out of Paris. Eiffel for the illusion, yeah. The mind's Eiffel. The mind's Eiffel.
Very nice. That's very nice.
You're gonna have to do better than the mind's Eiffel, because I think that's so simple. Wow, we also now have Imagine pooing out a car. Well, democracy will win out. I'm going to add the mind's Eiffel. I do know that means it won't win, even though...
Oh, but you've got the ultimate casting vote, Sean.
Yeah, I think
you can give the impression of democracy by giving it as a possible option.
Yeah, and also I can just close the vote if anything looks like it's close to winning. You can take as much credit as you like, Josie. I only want it to win. I don't want to be honoured. All right, actually, we've got to the point where the mind's Eiffel can't lose, so I'm quite happy. simply perfect. The Mind's Eiffel. Lovely. And that has fit in very nicely in. I'm just going to see if I can change. There should be an icon, which is just, you know, a tower or a... Oh, they're so small.
It doesn't. Does it use the emoji deck? Because then you've got the Tokyo Tower, which is near enough.
It doesn't use the emoji deck. It uses this small. They've got the similar categories. That's not true. One of these categories is crisis. But they should have one for, I guess, monument will probably do. We've got monument, letter, moon, fountain, animal services. It's more limited to what they think people might want on a Google map. Yeah. Which I guess, fair enough. You don't want a smiling devil emoji. It's just in the woods on Google Maps.
Yeah, or a raccoon.
I wouldn't mind a raccoon. But I would think that's probably not accurate now.
Down to one place, though,
Yes, I was thinking.
Mobile.
Oh, I wasn't imagining that someone had trapped the raccoon to make the map accurate. I thought someone saw a raccoon there, logged the position, and it's immediately going to be wrong. Sort of not what a map is for, really.
No.
Do you want a crisis on a Google map? Absolutely. If there's a tornado coming, I'd love to just see it on the map so I know whether to go to the shops. I know where to go to this shops or those shops. Okay, that's fantastic. So our most northerly paranormal experience is still Scone Cong. Our most westerly experience is the Belfast Bap. And our most southerly and our most easterly experience is still the Wet Ghost of Critty.
I do wonder whether my dad would have driven all the way to the south of Greece if he had his druthers.
There's still time.
He did. He's as well as endurance driving, he has in the past also driven himself to hospital with 3 broken ribs, and once he drove himself again to hospital having sawn off the top of his left index finger.
Missing the finger, I guess I can understand, because it's a small part of the body. But the ribs, I don't quite. Is it just this stubborn, I'll do everything myself attitude?
Yeah, I think. I mean, I've certainly inherited that. I'm very much a difficult team member. I work well as a lone wolf.
Sorry, I once again zoomed into England, but because of where the Malvern pig rat is, it just says gland, and I go, huh? And then I zoom in and go, oh yeah, of course. But it's caught me out every stream. Thank you.
And that is the pig rat's legacy. Right, I will see you later. A pleasure doing business. Ciao.
A pleasure doing business. Thank you for the story. Well, that leaves the lines open if anyone else has any paranormal experiences they wish to share. Remember, it doesn't have to be a ghost. It doesn't need to have scared you out of your mind's socks. It just needs to be something unexplained, unexplainable, and beyond the norm. I wonder if I have any. You'd have thought I'd have prepared something to be a backup. But everything in my life's been normal, unfortunately. Been a bit of a curse. In its own extremely subtle way. Mostly actually good. Mostly actually good time. So what have we got so far? We've got Scone Cong, the Belfast Bap, the Obelisk of Burlington Road. That's what we ended the last one on. The Obelisk of Burlington Road really had a lot of twists and turns. The Manchester Gin, the Forever Electrician, the Haunted Halford Minibarn, the Malvern Pig Rat, the Potentially Eldritch Cupboard, the Mind's Eiffel, and the Wet Ghost of Critty. Can we make up a story? How would I know? What do you think I'm going to do? Fact check. Wow, I'm just reading out what I can see. I would pronounce that ghost. Are all stories made up? You're not telling me the position of every atom, so we're all filling in the gaps. In the future, there'll be no subjectivity because we'll be able to tell stories where we locate the position, charge, and speed of every atom. And that'll be the end of subjectivity. And then that'll be great. Then we can trust the news again. Then we won't be flipping ashamed to flip on the TV. I think that's all I need from this. A shame. I'm not be having that on the screen anymore. There's an interesting theory that every time we remember a memory, we certainly rewrite the information we save over the original version. This kind of stuff gets really important in trials. One of the places you hear people talk about this a lot is a lot of legal proceedings is so heavily reliant on loads of people's memories, especially if something just kicks off, like in public, or even in private. You need people to recount stuff. And sometimes, because of how slow the law is and how underfunded every public service is, some of these things are going to be litigated in full, with full statements from everyone, months and months after the fact. I, for one, I have never been in any kind of legal proceeding where I've had to give some vast statement of any kind. But I feel like I know I wouldn't have enough details. But if I felt that someone had done something wrong, I would fill in enough blanks to ensure that what I feel happened gets understood. I think memory is very, very unreliable. Unreliable to the point where if we all sort of acknowledged it, it would be very hard for society to function. That's why it's good to write stuff down. Okay, does anyone else fancy jumping in the telephone line? Or shall we go into some sort of emergency measures? Shall we go into panic mode? Shall we start squealing, screaming? Shall we start pulling down our cheeks and screaming into the camera? Yeah, crisis zone. Harry, come on, give me a little tale. We'll go through the normal workflow. We get it on the map. We get down the details. Oh, hello, it's a little frog. Hello, frog.
Be able to hear.
I can hear you, frog. Frog. Frog, I can hear you. Frog's gone.
Hello.
Hello, frog.
I couldn't hear you. I fixed it. I thought, how about a quick ghost story?
I love a quick ghost story. Is it about a fast ghost? Also, can I confirm that you're a frog?
Yeah.
Are you a frog?
What?
Sorry?
Yeah.
Okay. Off you go. Yeah.
Can I be is that allowed?
Oh, yeah. Encouraged.
So, location, right?
Yeah.
That was, it was 2 Hope Avenue, Stretford, Manchester, M32 9RG.
Yep. I love it when people just can bish bash bosh me the full thing.
Yeah.
That got fully bish bashed.
I would have been in the back bedroom.
Okay, of what kind of residence? What decade we talking?
Oh, we're talking. This was probably 1987, maybe 1988.
Okay, so I'll say 1987 bedroom, back bedroom.
Yeah.
Okay, I think Photoshop AI will know what to do with that. And what was happening? You're listening to a Walkman.
No, right. I was sleeping. The event happened, right? I woke up in the night and there was this like purple, magenta, purpley manifestation. There's like a glow.
Oh, okay. Some argon got in.
And I lift over the covers, and I can see a lectern, right, like an old-fashioned, like priest's lectern, right, and there's this robed figure, right, this monk with like a hassock cowl over his head, and he's reading a book from this lectern.
Hang on, can I pause just to
Obviously,
make sure I know what I'm picturing in my head? You wake up.
Yeah.
And you see a glow, and in the middle of the glow is the lectern and the priest.
Yeah.
It's like a glowing priest
across
with a...
the room from me.
Okay.
And he's like stood behind this lectern. Well, he's not. He's facing. I'm facing like up down, and he's sort of the opposite way to me. So we're like, he's looking down into this book with a cowl over his head, and it's all like purpley and glows.
He's looking the opposite way. Sorry, is he on the ceiling?
No, he's on the floor, but he's looking away from me. He's not looking directly at me. He's looking 90 degrees away.
Okay.
So if I'm on the bed there, he's like effectively facing the same way I am if I'm looking forward in the bed. But of course, I'm on my side and I'm peeping through the duvet. Right. And then I'm looking at him for a moment, and I'm taking in his glow, and then the head begins to like turn over.
What do you mean turn over? Sorry.
Like it begins to like look towards me, and there's this like empty like black void within the space of the face would be. And I cacked it and went under my duvet. And I think I must have fallen back asleep. Because that's the end of the encounter. My mum says there's no ghost in the house though, right? She thinks if there was a ghost in the house, she would know. And
why would she know
that this happened?
Why would she know?
She knows if there's a ghost. Well, she went when they were looking at houses. There were other houses she thought were nicer, but she was convinced had a ghost. But when she came to this one, she liked the atmosphere of it and the energy. And she's like, this house doesn't have any ghosts.
I need to hear a lot about your mom now, because your mom's in tune with spirits and stuff.
Oh, well. I mean, apocryphally, I've never seen...
Apocryphally? Your mom has apocrypha?
Well, the stories they tell me, the stories they tell me, right, they're extraordinary. Apparently, my mother once, like, shouted in a rage. Something had happened. And she shouted at my dad. And a light bulb fell out of the fitting and then exploded in midair.
Oh, so your mom's...
multiple times.
So your mom's done a carry?
Yeah.
Your mom's done a carry. Your mom's done a carry. And just, you've buried the lead on this. You're telling me about a time you saw a dream priest. That's literally nothing when your mom's done a carry. And is she a frog as well?
It'd have to be, right? Well, maybe that happened to me later in life. Yeah. I was actually, this was the result of a wizard.
Well, some genes are recessive, aren't they? So your mom's not necessarily a frog if your nan's a frog, you know?
I don't know how genes work.
Don't think frogs can wear genes.
Yeah, we don't wear them.
Okay, so this to me seems like really open and shut, right? A frog saw a glowing priest at night. Am I missing any nuance to the story here?
Well, my mum said it wasn't a ghost. And it was because I've been playing the BBCB video game Citadel.
And that
there was a purple priest in that. And I said there wasn't a purple priest, it was red in that.
Been playing the BBC.
So it was a ghost.
What have you been playing? The BBC?
BBCB, right, microcomputer. And I was playing the game Citadel.
Which
was like an adventure game.
Claimed contained a purple priest. Yeah. However, the child frog disputes that to this very day. Yeah?
Yeah, yeah. It was a ghost.
Yeah, I'm very happy with this.
It didn't
This
have
is
lecterns.
what you said that before, and I didn't understand it then. Who didn't have lecterns?
The game didn't have lecterns, as far as I remember.
Oh, Citadel didn't have lecterns. Sorry,
Yeah.
I thought you were saying like
Yeah.
Priest didn't have lecterns
The priest
or
I saw
glowing
did
priest.
have a lectern. I didn't even know what a lectern was. I was
I've
too
only-
young.
I've only just learnt how to
Didn't
spell
know what-
lectern. I thought it was lectern until today. I put in lectern and Photoshop's like, I don't know what that is.
I mean, I to this day do not know how to spell lectern.
It's well, let me tell you, because I've just learnt. It's Lectum.
Tum.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
Oh, wow.
Would you have said lectern like me?
I think so, yeah.
Lectum with an M. It is lectern. No, but someone told me lectum. Hang on, let me go back up. Here, look at this. Look at this that I've pinned. Where's that come from then? That's not come from me. Very much lectern. But look at what I've pinned here. How's that happened? Because I didn't type that. Because if I typed that, it'd say Sean Mall. Lectern.
You know, maybe a lectum is also a thing.
Yeah, maybe a lectum is a thing. Put in the chat if you've got any wobes. Okay, so what should we call this one? We've got an infinite reference. That's not what I've had in mind.
Monk.
Look, they've done it again. I'll pin it. Look, so you can see they've done it again. Okay, what should we call this mystery? You can do !A to provide a suggestion. Otherwise, I'm happy to. Frog priest. The frog's priest. There's no purple priest in the frog priest story. That's pretty good, isn't it? Doesn't really get any better than that.
Frog did die in that room.
Sorry?
A frog did die in that room, but that was later.
You bury every lead, don't you? There's always these little extra. You're like a wizard's pocket ready to open, full of conkers.
I spent a lot of time in that space. Yeah, it lived in a fish tank.
What?
It was an aquatic frog.
Wet
it
frog?
It lived in a fish tank. Yeah, wet frog, aquatic frog, right? I think his name was Brian. And he was great. He'd swim about with me neon tetras and me swordfish, right? And he disappeared, right? He vanished one day. He was just gone. There's no more Brian. And then about a month later, my mum. Well, a month later, my mum emptied my bin, and he was dry at the bottom, just like.
Did you put your frog in the bin?
You know, I didn't. No way would I put my frog. I loved that frog. That frog ninjaed its way out of a fish tank.
If it can ninja its
so hard. I assume it leaped so hard and powerfully that it rocketed into the lid of the tank and out into the bin.
But you're telling me there's a frog that can jump out of a fishbowl but can't jump out of a bin?
That's a totally different story.
What from the one you're currently telling?
The water's near enough to the top of the tank that it's only a few inches. If it hits that lid hard enough, it could knock it and then end up either outside or close enough to outside that it has to like fight its way and then squirming flops out and into the bin. I wouldn't put a frog in a bin. I didn't want to see that dried frog. I was really upset.
Additionally, what did the frog die after this story or later?
Yeah, years later. This has probably been like 1993.
Years later, a different frog, owned by the first frog, jumped into a bin and died. And we're suggesting there's a connection.
Well, Well, geographically there is.
Yeah, I mean, it's relevant. It's relevant, isn't it? You can't ignore that. Years later, in this very space, a frog jumped into a bin and died. Yeah. Yeah, that's ley lines for you.
Yeah.
Tim Bernard's ley lines. Well, thank you very much, Red, for sharing that.
Yeah, I mean, I should stop there, shouldn't I?
Well, tell you what, you're very welcome to re-enter the queue, because I think there's always more up your sleeves.
There is. If there's a lull, I'll jump back on.
Exactly.
Thanks. And have a good evening, everyone.
Have a good evening, one and all. Okay, so that was the Frog Priest story. Initially, it seemed like one of the simplest stories to get your head around, but it kept growing and growing. It built and built.
Hello there.
Hello, let me move your night hole head around.
Yes, please.
How are you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I had
Good.
some.
Can you hear me okay? Is this stupid microphone I've got working?
Yeah, working a treat.
Brilliant. What were you going to say? Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say I had some Peruvian cola today. It was very nice.
Oh, nice. How does it compare to the standard types of cola that you're used to?
It's not as sweet and it's bright yellow. It's actually somewhere a bit more like Iron Brew.
Right, in terms of taste.
Yeah, and colour, I suppose, as well.
Wow, okay. I remember there was a make, it was like a promotional sort of gimmicky cola that was bright yellow when I was a kid. It was something to do with The Simpsons. It was like Krusty's Cola. I never remember tasting it, but I remember seeing it poured into a glass and being impressed by that.
It was this stuff.
Oh, that's fun. That is
yeah.
piss in a bottle. That's piss in a bottle right there. You've picked up a big can of piss right there, Sean.
I don't know if it's piss. It was very fizzy, and I think piss is flat.
Not my piss.
You got a fizzy piss?
Carbonate. I put my piss through a soda stream. I carbonate my piss.
But after the fact, right? So I was going to say, if it comes out fizzy,
it's got that taste
sounds
that you
uncomfortable.
just won't forget.
Well, I don't want to dwell on the sensation. I don't want to speculate on how it would feel.
You don't want it fizzing up in your balls, though, do you?
No, I suppose you don't know.
No, it's not worth it.
Good point. No. I've got half a ghost story, a scary story for you.
Yeah, sounds good.
And it doesn't even involve piss or anything. Nothing rude. It's actually quite a tame story.
Okay.
So I was back home at my dad's house in a little town, sort of village called Red Row in Northumberland.
Red Row.
Red Row. Yeah.
Beamish?
Red Row, Morpeth, UK. It's at the top
Okay.
there. That's the one. That's
What kind
actually
of-
quite.
What kind of place is Red Row? Just wanted to get
It's
the.
a little village. There's not much going on there. It's essentially two streets. There's a couple of churches there.
Yeah, you got a co-op. Golden Chippy. Can I just take a little look? You ever been to Golden Chippy?
I like the Golden Chippy. However, that is not Red Row. That is Hadston, which is a neighbouring village. But it's
Yeah.
very, very close. It's.
I'm in Hadston.
I went to school in Hadston. The school is now pulled down. The school is no longer there.
Do you know what Little Beauty Cabin is?
No.
There's something here called. It might be technically Hadston again. I don't know exactly where the borderline is, but this is just a residential street. Well, someone on this street has registered their house as the Little Beauty Cabin. I think I'd quite like to find out who. Okay, the Little Beauty Cabin.
Are they like a? Do you reckon they're like a sort of a door-to-door sort of like stylist sort of person?
Well, it's only been received 2 reviews. One from Jenny Gom, which says lovely staff and atmosphere in this cabin, great value for money and loyalty card scheme. Not shedding much light. Oh, best beauty place in the area. You try it once and you're never going to use any other. So I guess this is just someone who's turned their house into a salon.
Fair play to them.
So
You'd love to see that in Hadston, I reckon.
You love to see it in Hadford.
I like that they've got a loyalty card scheme. I think that's funny.
Yeah, loyalty card scheme, 2 reviews.
Anyway, I was at my dad's house in Red Row, Northumberland, which is just south of where you're looking there.
Yeah, we're going to dox your dad?
Well, no, we'll not. But it's that area. My dad lives in that general area where you're looking right there. You've zoomed in a bit now. That's Hadston again. Hadston's to the west of this.
I'm sorry.
It's a slippery slope, Hadston and Red Row. Jeez,
Oh, so this is Red Row, the school.
Yeah.
John S. Lunn, Red Brick, the Gingerbread Cafe, Ocean Star Chinese Takeout. Let me take a little look at that.
Ocean Star is it was a better takeaway in the 90s.
Oh, look at this.
It's a little bit grim now.
Oops, someone's had a birthday.
Is that the car Josie was describing earlier on the driveway of the Ocean Star?
I think it's a similar model, but it is in fact a Berlingo, a Citroen Berlingo.
No, I mean the blue one.
Oh. No, it doesn't have the...
No, it doesn't. You're right.
Doesn't have that rear thing.
If you go back to the map... Oh, sorry, go on. You tell me your thing.
Oh, no, I'm just waffling. Go on, where are we headed?
If you just have a look at the map, there's the Brick Club there, just to the right. This is a separate story, but I'll tell you quickly. I met then Prince Charles there, and I shook Prince Charles's hand. He visited Stephen Lunn, the blacksmith, across the road, and then he went into the Brick Club there to meet the landlord of that little pub.
There's a blacksmith here. Wow,
yeah,
this is a proper old little village.
Yeah, it's excellent. They make some really good stuff. He's a bit of a big name around that area. He's made a lot of gates and stuff.
Oh, they haven't sent a Google car around here very often. The Brick Club Buskathon, 30 gigs here on the 16th of September 2010.
Yeah.
They're going to be busking from 5 p.m. until 11 p.m.
I shook Charlie's hand there shockingly late in my life, around about circa 2012. I'm so sorry.
How thick were his fingers? Could he actually clasp all the way around?
Like Richmond sausages. Jesus Christ, they were horrible. Really, just gross. Anyway, can I tell you my actual... Do you want to know the actual ghost story?
Oh,
do you want to know the spooky story? I was at my dad's house, right? This was about 2013-ish. I was 19.
Where approximately should I drop my pin, just so I've got it dropped?
If you go up the road a little bit in Red Row, there's a church called St. John's.
Okay, looking for a church.
Up the B1330 a bit there.
B1330, yeah.
Keep going up it.
Tell you what, I'll be better off on Google. Let's see. Just up and up. Oh, Parish Church of St. John.
That's the one. Just drop the pin there. It's near enough.
So you had a paranormal experiences on consecrated ground?
Across the road from consecrated ground.
Oh, I do beg your pardon. So we're actually...
Yeah.
So
now you've fully doxed my dad. Now you've properly doxed my dad.
I don't even see a church.
Google Maps is a bit dicky in this area. If you head north up the road on Street View, you'll get to the church eventually.
Okay, I'm just trying to work out which way's north. This way.
Yeah, that way there.
It's looking a bit churchy.
Yeah, a bit more. There's the church. There's the church right there. I see the bloody church.
And is that the...
He went past the church. It was on the left of the road.
And just to be clear, when I get to Cenotaph...
Yep.
Bloody shame all them lads, eh? Bloody shame.
I've got relatives on that cenotaph. Sean, how bloody dare you?
Yeah, exactly. It's bloody shame what happens to those lads.
It is. So I was playing video game Minecraft in my dad's house, 2013-ish, right?
And to be clear, I shouldn't turn around because that would be illegal right now, right?
You could turn around if you want. I think it's out of shot my dad's house from this angle. Go on. Yeah, that's not my dad's house.
Yeah,
all the houses on the street have
whatever
names.
you say.
It's a very pretentious sort of... These genuinely aren't anywhere I have ever entered. I've never been in any of these buildings here. I was playing... This was late night. It was about like 2 a.m. or something. I was waiting... it was in a period of my life where I was finished a college course. I was waiting for my grades to come through. And I was expecting to go to university. Expecting to go to Salford University, which I did going to. And I would waste my time. I didn't really have a job at the time. I was sort of just wasting the days away by playing Minecraft until about like 5 in the morning, and then sleeping till about like for 12 hours, and then repeating the process again and again. One night, I was in the back room of my dad's house, which is a conservatory. It's where we had a telly set up, and it's where I had my 360. Yeah, that's a great image of my dad's conservatory. That's exactly what it looks like. That's perfect. Spot on, thank you. That's horrible. What's on the wall? Is that actual shit smeared on the wall? Sure.
No, it's the paint coming off. The paint's coming off.
Okay. It was a CRT television, if you want to make it look a bit more accurate.
Well, I'll see what I can do.
And I used to get properly into it. I was playing video games so much in this era of my life that I was getting really immersed into it. I had a similar experience. I had a really weird experience once playing Portal around this time, where I felt like I could actually, in real life, shoot portals through walls. I felt like
you felt like it.
I felt like there was. My logic sort of escaped me. I sort of like my mind broke in this era of my life because I was just wasting my days away just playing Xbox all day. There was a point in my life where I thought, oh, that the kettle is too far away from me right here. You know, I'm sitting in the living room here. I could make a cup of tea. I should set up a portal or something. That would be easy. And then I had to stop myself. I went like, hang on, no, I'm 30 years old. I was 19 or 20 around about this time. This is ridiculous, ridiculous thought. But anyway, one night I was playing Minecraft in the back room, right? And I was in some sort of like mine, possibly crafting.
Oh yeah, the verbs.
Yeah, as you can do in the game. And I heard this. It was totally silent in the house about like 3 in the morning. Everyone was asleep. My dad was upstairs. My sister was upstairs as well. And I was just chiseling away at some wall in some cave. And I heard like a baby crying once out loud. I didn't have the speakers on the TV. At least I don't think I had them on very loud. I just heard a baby's wailing cry. Just once. Like a proper sort of noise. We didn't have any neighbours either side that had infants at the time.
Could have been a baptism in the church across the road.
We wouldn't have heard it, and I reiterate, it was 3 o'clock in the morning, Sean.
Okay, church will be shut.
Church will be shut. The vicar will be sleeping. And it sent me into like a really like I didn't know if it was because it was like I was going mad at the time, thinking that I could shoot portals through walls. Or if I just like I imagined this like nuts noise. I went through like forums, like Minecraft forums, for a week trying to find anyone who had experienced something similar in the game. Like, if has Mojang coded in a baby crying for a laugh to scare people like at 2 in the morning, and I've got no clue what it could have been. And to this day, I still don't really know what it could have been. I don't know what caused that noise, Sean.
And so the most reassuring thing you could have heard was someone from Mojang saying, yeah, we've put it in so that if you're chiseling a wall at 3 a.m, we put a baby crying in.
Well, it would have made sense at least. It would have been nice to get a bit of closure and not think that I'd gone totally bananas.
Yeah?
Yeah. I did... there is one possibility.
Uh-huh.
I had a very needy cat at the time. A lovely cat.
Yeah, this is sounding like a possibility to me.
It is a possibility, yeah. But he never ever made a noise like that. He was quite vocal, this cat. And
okay, so it's a loud cat, and it would mewl and make...
It would mewl. It would mewl and make a noise, yeah. But it never ever sounded like a baby. And I'm pretty sure I checked the entire room at that point, and there was no cat present in that room. I'm pretty sure the cat was asleep upstairs on my bed.
Oh, the cat was in the room with you?
No, this isn't my bedroom. This is. I was in a conservatory, Sean.
Of course, sorry. I've gotten too attached to the image I've made and forgotten the details of the story.
What do you mean that's not shit on the walls? Look, what's that on the bed? There's shit
then you
on the
got
mattress.
up and you looked at the shitty walls, and then you looked at your portal gun, and then you looked at all of these really mildewy blankets, and then you looked at this sort of metal. I tried to get it to make a portal, but it just ended up getting confused. So I've headcanon that this is patched up with metal because you've tried to make a portal by tearing down the wall.
And that's just like a sort of a temporary sort of fix.
Well, oh, bloody hell. Let's get the blacksmith. Well, I don't normally deal with walls, they're plaster. I'll give you some metal.
Some of these blankets have blood on them, Sean. This is a foul little room.
It's a spooky story. Have you not seen Giello Meltomo?
What do you think the answer is? What do you think my answer would be to that question?
Yeah, you're a big Guillermo Toro fan.
Am I? I think you're thinking of someone else.
You don't like Guillermo Toro?
I've not seen any of their work.
There's
I'm sure they're very good.
There's a naked man with hands in his palms in it. You'd love that.
It sounds like the sort of thing I'd like. Yeah, you're right. But
Let me show you. Hang on.
All right. Can you show it? Is it TOS friendly?
Eyes in palms. Guillermo Toro. Oh, must be TOS. What's his name? Oh, Pan's Labyrinth.
Say that one more time. I quite liked it how you said it.
Pan's Labyrinth.
I thought that's what you said.
Have you not seen this guy? You
I
love
have
him.
Now. No.
You love this kind of thing.
What? I love that kind of thing.
You love this kind of thing. Yeah.
That specific thing you're showing me right there. I love that.
No, you love this genre of thing. You love
like weird lizard people with like flabby skin.
And you love things like this as well. You love this kind of thing.
I love this kind of thing.
Yeah, you love this kind of thing. Why else are they? Why have you got them as posters in your bedroom otherwise?
Sean, I like Dick and Dom. You know this about me. I like Green Day. You know my two things.
Well, I'll pop some posters of them up too. Oh yeah, you're a really different kind of guy. Well, they can be on here as well.
I had that actual poster at university.
Did you actually?
When I was 22, far too old to be having a poster like that on your wall.
That's funny. What else did we say? Like Dick and Dom poster.
I like Dick and Dom presently as well. I streamed Dick and Dom earlier today.
Open.
Yeah, well, we know this, don't we? We all know this. I just thought you also liked Pyramid Head and Pan's Labyrinth. I guess I'm wrong.
That's nice. That.
Well, I can put these on the. I can put these on the floor,
floor.
along with the blood.
You crumple them up a little bit, please.
Yeah. What we'll imagine is the reason there's blood on the floor is because you hurt yourself trying to destroy these posters because they don't like them. There you go.
Sustained some sort of injury from punching a hole in the wall, I'd imagine as well.
No, that was because you were trying to make a portal. You weren't angry.
Yeah, with my fists.
Oh yeah, with your fists.
Doesn't explain the shit all over the mattress though.
No, it does. If you hurt yourself, things just happen. If you really hurt your hands, you'll do a poo.
You say so. That's essentially my story, Sean. I don't know. Could you give me some sort of like resolution?
Yeah, of course. Let's just get it down in prose. How old were you? An 18-year-old is... let's say spooky. Yeah. A spooky 18-year-old is playing the independent video game Minecraft.
And
chiseling
18-year-old.
At a wall of iron
rock.
ore. Yeah. Bedrock. We'll do... We could say chiseling pointlessly at a block of bedrock. When he
that is a pointless thing. It's a fool's errand to chisel bedrock.
It's a fool's errand, but it might show that something's already not right, you know?
I like it.
When he heard a baby crying, the only other thing it could have been was a sound effect from Minecraft or the cat mewling. But what if it was a ghost?
Could have been a ghost.
It could
You
have
don't
been
know.
a ghost.
You weren't there.
I wasn't there. Although, lately I do feel like I've been there. Also, I don't know if you've seen the expression the baby has. It's not a nice baby.
Is the baby mid-cry there? Is that the baby going, "Wah!"
I think the baby's mid-decomposition. There we
Baby
go.
is sitting on something invisible.
Yeah. It's just a broken bucket.
Yeah. Well, we have one of them in the back room in our house, so that's true to life. We did have a broken bucket.
Oh, I thought you meant you had a baby who's sort of rotting away.
Absolutely not, and I refute all those allegations.
That's very fair. We haven't given an address for this, so there's nothing to call in.
Main Street, Red Row, Northumberland.
Oh, there we go. Next to the church.
There we are. Next to the church.
Perfect.
Great. Well, thanks for that then.
Oh, no, thank you. One last thing before we go. Now that you've verified you're okay with the prose, we just need a title for the story. What should we call this horrifying story?
The baby noise that was the cat?
Well, I think that takes the sting out of the tail of the thing. I'll open this up to an infinite referendum. You're welcome to stick around and help guide the referendum, but if you feel that you've deposited the story and you're happy with that, then...
I don't want to outstay my welcome.
Well, I mean, all that happens after this is I twiddle my thumbs until someone else comes on the call, so it's not exactly like I'm in any rush to boot you off.
Dick and Pan in the labyrinth.
Dick and Pan in the labyrinth. Have you got any streams coming up? Should we just shout out Harry Harley?
I might stream tomorrow morning.
Yeah?
About 9:30 or 10 a.m. Don't know yet. I'm going to be streaming Dick and Dom.
Silent Hill.
No, literally the opposite of Silent Hill, which is Dick and Dom.
I think Dick and Dom is not the opposite of Silent Hill. I think there's actually a lot of similarities.
I had considered doing Silent Hill at some point. Don't know
Yeah,
when.
I told you. I knew.
I have considered doing Silent Hill.
Yeah, I knew it. I think you've always been Silent Hill adjacent.
Always.
You've always been Silent Hill adjacent.
You've only known me for 3 years.
Mm-hmm. I can extrapolate. What, you think you changed the day before we met? I can extrapolate backwards. I can extrapolate forwards.
I'm a psychopath. You can't. I've got my personalities everywhere.
Okay, what we got?
I do like Jeremy Vine as a title.
Yeah, do you think we should override it and just call it Jeremy Vine?
Yeah, sure. If you're fine with that.
Doesn't make any more or less sense than the rest.
No.
Call it Jeremy Vine. There we go.
Brilliant. I hope that one day you decide to visit Red Row, Northumberland.
Well, now anyone with the following link easily can. Let me get the link up. Stick that on your Google Maps, and you can make a pilgrimage to any of the spooky places that we have documented.
Great. I am going to hang up now, Sean.
More than reasonable, given the circumstances.
Good night. I'll be in the chat. Bye-bye.
Good night, Harry.
Bye-bye.
All this jeremyvine.png won't help me recognise it in future. Is Harry Silent Hill adjacent? Everyone's going, no, Harry likes Dick and Dom. I'm not denying that Harry likes Dick and Dom. I'm saying that Harry and Dick and Dom are Silent Hill adjacent. I don't think that's controversial. It might be wrong, and it might be that everyone disagrees with me, but I don't think it's controversial. I think controversial is a bit of a loaded term. Okay, what am I doing? Oh yeah, I'm finishing getting this on Okay, Jeremy Vine. Oh, the frog's back. Can everyone say hello, frog?
Shall I tell you about the wizard?
You can, but before that, I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
When you go to Dignitas, when do you think the last time you can change your mind is?
Before you press the button?
Do you think you get to press the button?
I think you have to, don't you? Isn't that part of the law? That
You have to press the button?
It has to be on your...
What's the point going all the way to where? Is it Switzerland? What's the point going all the way to Switzerland if you have to press the button? You can press the button at home.
I haven't got a button at home.
Well, you might not have a button. I guess, yeah, I suppose. All right.
You know what I mean? In terms of, like, I think if you're going for it in that fashion, then actually the safety and security of professionalism is probably a boon.
I do not want to press the button.
Anything else is surely much worse.
And you got to hope that button's like really stiff, like a button you really have to press. You don't want to like, you don't want to nudge it with your shoulder.
Accidentally nudge it.
Well, because
as you're raising your hand.
Because presumably you want to be like, sit me in the chair, and then I'll say something. You know? Because you'll be like, that's my last chance to say a little thing, and imagine you just like, oh, I've nudged it. Fuck. And then you rush it. you rush
yourself
you
short.
rush. Yeah, you rush your little thing.
Your last words that, wait a minute.
Because presumably a lot of your time you're at Dignitas, then like, are you 100% sure? And there must be people who go, I am sure. And they go, are you actually really sure? And they go, no, actually, no, you're right. Well, not you're right, because it's not like Dignitas trying to talk people out of it, but like, people must be bottling it. But does anyone ever bottle it beyond the point of return?
People... Oh... I mean, you've thought about it well enough, even if you've had a panic at the last moment there. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying...
You override it? What, you override the little panic? Come on, you wanted it...
Well, I think there's a point where if you've nudged the button, you've nudged it. There's not much... Like, there's a point of no return, do you know what I mean? You might at that point go, whoops. But, like, I feel like that's a real edge case.
And if I was in Dignitas and someone whoopsed, right? If the last thing I heard from one of our patients was whoops, I would do a cover-up. I would have to do a cover-up. I would have to silence everyone in this room. I'd have to accidentally press the button on them as well.
I feel like I would just resign, to be honest.
No.
And then I would just go sit in a room alone.
Dignitas does such a social good. You can't let it get all the funding turned off because of a whoops. You have to. You have a moral imperative to do a cover-up.
No, that doesn't get the... No, I'm just saying I would just walk away from it. I couldn't deal with that emotionally.
Oh, what? That you killed someone?
I would be... That someone had changed their mind would mean that I could never be a part of that. Even if like I was there and been like, you know what, actually this is a really ethical thing. I think, you know, the right to die is important, etc. But I think being in a room, witnessing someone go through, you know, they're probably signing a form every 10 minutes, right? Just to go, yeah, I still want to do it. I still want to do it.
I still want to do it. I still want to do it.
In front of you.
And then you nudge it.
Press it. You see them panic and go, fuck, change my... And then gone. I think I would just start, like, I quit, sign it, give it to my boss, and then I would just walk home, and then I would sit in the dark.
I think you're reacting too quick.
Forever.
You don't know if they were like, whoops, I wanted to live, or whoops, I wanted to say a little thing first. Whoops, I wanted to die in 10 minutes' time because I wanted to say a little thing.
I think there's a difference between a facial expression that you would give of, oh, I've lost my ability to, you know, say this thing I had planned to do my little speech, and oh fuck, I don't want to die. I feel like I can tell what that is.
I think you believe you can. I think you believe you can. JJ Russell's saying it's not actually a button; it's a death drink, and actually that's reassuring because it's hard to fully swallow a whole drink by accident. It's not vulnerable to whoops like a little button. I'm imagining like one of those big buttons like you get in a Street Fighter arcade cabinet. Like it's very whoopsable. Yeah. Oops, I put my drink on it.
Don't start the speech with a toast. You've got to finish with it.
Yeah, finish with a toast. That's good. That's what they say when you come in.
Yeah, just to remind you.
And that might be good, yeah. It should have a little drink, but it should have, are you a robot? No. Okay, pick which of these 7 images is a bus.
Does Josie know if you can pick a flavour?
It's Dr. Plem.
Yeah, exclusively.
Yeah.
Have they done a deal?
No, there's 2 flavours of Plem, original and turbo.
Yes, Plem and original.
Yeah, cold, original, and Dignitas.
Wow. I'll be looking forward to seeing that in Tesco's.
Anyway, where are we dropping the pin?
Right, the wizard. Right, this happened. At the time, it was in the kitchens of the Rainforest Cafe in Manchester, which is at the Trafford Centre.
Okay, let's just Rainforest Cafe. That says it's in the Disney Village.
The London one, I think.
Are you sure? Because it says that this is the Rainforest Cafe in Disneyland.
Well, that's a different Rainforest Cafe than the one I mean.
I can see it. Look here. But I can't get in. No one's taken any pictures over there.
That's a shame.
So we're going to the Trafford
you almost
Centre.
make out the fish tanks. I used to clean fish tanks like that.
Professionally, or just the one with the frog in?
They did pay me, but it was cash in hand. I didn't know what I was doing.
You got cash in hand to pay aquariums? Where? At some bar?
To clean them. I used to get a wetsuit.
Who?
And there was me. I'd have a squeegee, and I was in a wetsuit. I got a squeegee.
At the Trafford Centre?
The tanks are massive, right? And there's like a huge tube. And it's like an arch of tubes, like a big T, like a henge. And I'd get a wetsuit, and they had a compressor that was attached to like a regulator. And I'd get that, and I'd dive into the tank.
You got to pause for me. You got to pause here, because I'm absolutely... Oh, my God. This is the Trafford Centre. You're cleaning...
Yeah.
And it looks like the Rainforest Cafe has moved, so we have an obligation to find out what replaced it.
It's now a Nando's.
Fucking hell. All right. Nando's, the Trafford Centre. Nando's Manchester, the Trafford Centre. Okay, let's see if anyone's taken any pictures in there. Yes, they have. Someone's taken a picture in the Nando's. Oh, not quite. We're by the TGI Fridays. Close enough, innit?
We're above it. We're above it, effectively.
We're above them. Oh, of course. Of course. Perfect.
It's like over to your... Yeah, pretty much like where the TGI's is, but below the level. I think they call the food court like the Great Hall, but it's sort of further out.
Okay. Can I just check the reviews for this Nando's?
Sure.
Let's just see the worst review it's ever had.
Yeah.
Reviews aren't verified. That's fine. Disappointing visit. Food was drab, lukewarm chips. Extremely horrible experience. Actually, this does look rank. That does look rank. That on a plate, and you've paid for that.
It doesn't express a lot of... I tell you what, the salads that I was putting out in that location, 100 times better than that.
What?
Although I still wasn't allowed to serve Victoria Beckham the salad that I made for her. The chef came in and remade it, and then gave her a better one that wasn't on the... I did hers specifically, and I wasn't giving her any extra. I'm like, no, she's getting exactly perfect menu. And he went, you can't give that to Victoria Beckham. I'm remaking it.
What, to give her extra? To give her more than other people?
Yeah.
She doesn't need
he
more than
went
other
way
people. She's
overboard.
fucking
She's got
minted.
cherry tomatoes, mate. Cherry
She's
tomatoes.
fucking minted. Hang on. So you have a job where you're both cleaning aquariums and making salads, but not for Victoria Beckham.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
That's
I think
insane.
at this specific time, was I a chef or was I pot wash? I think I was a DMO at the time. This is earlier.
I mean, I've been a pot wash, but I never had to do aquariums.
Well, that came later, and I was a chef. But basically, the Rainforest Cafe shut down, and then there was another restaurant that sort of rose in its place. But they weren't allowed to call it the Rainforest Cafe, even though it had all the Rainforest Cafe stuff because of like licensing. So they couldn't officially use the restaurant, but there was a bar attached and a chicken hut, and the bar would let people into the Rainforest Cafe and they would switch all the stuff on, but they just would not have any of the branding.
Okay.
So at this point, they didn't have the money to pay the people to come in and do the fish properly. All of that had sort of gone, and they went, "We'll give you 20 quid if you clean the fish tanks."
Fair enough.
Because they knew I had a wetsuit. So I went, yeah. And
yeah, fine.
Right, but the wizard is earlier.
And what kind of environment are we in here? Are we in a tank? Are we in a cafe?
We're in a kitchen environment, right?
Okay.
So it's this is very much in the kitchen. He was a chef.
The wizard.
And yeah. And one day we first clued in that he was a wizard because he brought in a printout of a demon emerging from like a summoning circle, and he put it up on his like chef board where his checks would go, and he just had that on his station. And then one of the other chefs got like into his like. It seemed like it was some sort of satanic cult, as best I can tell. And he was like well into demons because he came over and he was telling me about it because I was like, well, sure, I'll listen to you talk about demons. This is sort of interesting.
Oh, of course you would. Yeah, you're a frog.
Yeah, and then he told someone that he was a Satanist, and then told them that if they told anyone that he'd steal their souls, and they immediately went to HR. Well, they immediately went to management, and he got sacked. But then months later, he'd been talking to me with his mate, and he came and tried to recruit me into his cult, right? But I was like, I'm not really, like, I don't think I want to be. Do you know what I mean? You seem problematic. And then he was like, well, and that's when he turned me into a frog, obviously.
Oh, because you did say earlier you want always a frog, so this is a real origin story.
Yeah. I thought I'd just tie the ends up.
You thought you'd improv game it and make sure everything established gets a call back before the end.
The thing is, apart from that one element of this, nothing else I have said has been not true. He just came to try to recruit me in IRL without the keyfabe.
I'm gonna try Chef Wizard into the AI, but I strongly expect maybe separate words would do me better. Okay, Chef Wizard. I think it's gonna struggle with it. It's not a very clever AI. Hello, Martine. We're just getting people's paranormal stories and putting them on Google Maps. And we're currently hearing about how Red Keown got turned into a frog by a chef wizard. Oh, sort of. Do you know what? I'll accept. No, we'll try one more time. I will accept that, but it does look like a crash test dummy who's a chef and Father Christmas.
Yeah.
Can we get another tarmac-based story? Oh, that's good.
Ooh.
That guy's just looking at an Apple laptop. This guy, I think, and he's
pirate.
Yes, and he also seems to be applying a lot of icing to the summoning circle, which feels like it could be very powerful.
They've got big Gormenghast energy.
Oh yeah, I'll accept that.
And
Do you know
I think 3 legs.
Gormenghast? Do you know in Sainsbury's they've got an apple juice, Boxford apple juice?
Right.
Do you know what I'm talking? Anyone here know Boxford, the apple juice you can get from Sainsbury's, Boxford? It's from down southeast. The guy who wrote Gormenghast is a scion of the Boxford apple juice dynasty. That's what I learnt. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's from apple juice money.
I've never managed to finish Gormenghast.
Yeah, I never really.
I can't get past the descriptions of stone.
I had a very beautiful hard copy, and I never really managed to chisel into it. I felt like Harry Hardy playing Minecraft at 3 a.m. trying to chisel into bedrock.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like. It's a real uphill battle.
I think we've got a really beautiful frog out of this, though.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Mug tree.
Mug tree.
Ironically, looks like one of the mascots for the Rainforest Cafe as well.
Even better, really.
They were called Chi-Chi, although I never got the front house training, so I'm not sure.
Chi-Chi's a character in Dragon Ball Z, you know?
Yeah. Goku's wife? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Japanese for father.
Really?
Oh, Martin,
Amazing.
you'd love apples. Martin, you'd love apples. Have you tried a pear? Okay, so a pot wash who also cleans aquariums cash in hand in the Rainforest Cafe, now a Nando's, who wasn't allowed to serve Victoria Beckham a normal serving of what kind of salad was it?
It was just a side salad in this case.
Of side salad.
Yeah, it was just meant to be like a bit of romaine.
Was transformed into a frog by a wizard for not joining their cult. I'll say a chef wizard. Have I missed out any key details there, or is that a good summary?
That's the main gist of it, isn't it? That's the gist.
What should we name this spooky tale? By the way, Martin, I saw you were streaming last night. Were you looking at the making of Karateka? Because I'm quite interested in this. And also, to my regular viewers, do you know that Martin streams? Why not give Martin a follow? I'm also looking into getting the making of Karateka. It looks good. Did you say, Mr. Frog, that I've captured your tale?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, Martin, you're playing Karateka, but are you aware of the recent release? Are you aware of the game The Making of Karateka, which is a video game documentary about Karateka? You must be familiar with that if you're doing it on... Okay, good. Just checking. That's what I'm interested in. Do frogs have tails? Yeah. Well, this one doesn't. No, they don't. I was saying yeah because I thought mine did and I didn't want to regenerate it. Okay. Anything else you want to add, Mr. Frog?
Is somebody else wanting to jump in? I mean...
Maybe we've got room for one more.
What do we want? Oh, I got another one about my mum, right? And this, I believe, takes place at the Emily Pankhurst Girls' School. It probably would have happened at some point in either the late 1960s or early 1970s.
I'm currently unwilling to move on because I'll forget to finish this. So I'm just playing a game of do this then that. Otherwise, I'll lose my precious little mind.
I thought you were rushing me forward. You see?
Oh no! I'm just filling the airwaves, really. So okay, what have we got?
That's fine.
The mug tree in the egg, okay, just bears no relationship to what we've been talking about. The curse of the Rainforest Cafe demonic chef cult. Yeah, it's not pithy, but it does sum everything up. Frog in the kitchen. This one I like. Frog salad, also very strong. Frog spawn, yeah, very nice. Out of the frying pan into the frog pond. I'll accept that. It's got a kind of Tolkien-esque pang. Aquarium pandemonium, yeah, I like it. The Cult of the Rainforest Cafe. These are all pretty good, yeah. Okay.
Oh, I tell you what, I have been burying a small lead in that
You
one
always
of the
do.
tanks was full of red-bellied piranhas. And I
That's
used to
mad.
get in with them. With a squeegee.
Because it's a myth, innit? It's a myth that they go for you. Isn't it?
I mean,
myth.
they were scared. I think they have to be hungry and frightened to come at you. Although once, I'm just going to call him Dougie because that was his name. And he started tapping on the glass at the opposite end where all the piranhas were. And they did rush me. But I jumped out very quickly. Because you would, wouldn't you?
I always thought it was a complete myth.
Me.
But it sounds like they went for you. Sounds like they wanted you.
I mean, I got out pretty quick. They definitely came towards me when they were getting, like, frightened by the tapping on the glass.
Yeah.
And I leapt out at that point. And at that point, he looked me in the eye and went, "Have you been feeding these?" And I went, "No, because you're supposed to." And he went, "Oh, I've not done it for a month."
A month? They'd be dead. They'd be dead.
They eat each other, and then they get bigger and more vicious.
No, that sounds like zombie rules.
Well, this is what Dougie told me.
If it's what Dougie told you.
He was upset that I was cleaning the tanks and he wasn't. And he was trying to get me eaten by piranhas. But that does seem like what the circumstances had led to.
Yeah, that's very fair.
You know
All
what I
right.
mean?
Where are we putting our last pin of the night?
Right. So it's the Emily Pankhurst School for Girls, and that is also in Manchester, or was. I don't know if it still exists, but it's a girls' school in Manchester.
And what were you doing there?
Well, I wasn't there. This is a story from my mum, because we did a mum story, right? And you liked that.
Oh, okay. Emily, sorry, I went to
So
Emily Pankhurst
actually could work as
School for Girls. There is no such thing. Let me get onto the Google Maps. Emmeline Pankhurst School for Girls. There's no such thing. School for Witches did come up.
Emily, isn't it?
There's the School for Witches. Is that what you mean? Hampton Grove?
That'll do.
No,
That'll do.
There is no Emmeline Pankhurst School for Witches.
Well,
School for Girls.
Isn't it Emily?
No, it's always been Emmeline.
That's it.
Emily Pankhurst. This is like Lectum all over again.
It was definitely a suffragette, and it was a girls' school. And I thought it was Emily Pankhurst.
I know it's Emily. I've been searching Emmeline. There isn't an Emmeline. And also, to be absolutely thorough, I've looked for Emily as well. There's no Emily either. It's now Manchester High School for Girls. Let's just check this. Emmeline... I've spelled that completely wrong. Emmeline Pankhurst School for Girls. The suffragette Emmeline Pankhurst enrolled her 3 daughters, Christabel, Sylvia and Adele at the school. That was at Manchester High School for Girls. And I'll look up Emmeline Pankhurst School. That's her school she went to.
The school may have been knocked down by this point.
She was elected to Manchester School Board in 1900. I don't think there was ever one. I just
Maybe
don't
it was this. Maybe it was this school then. I've just misremembered. Anyway, right. So the story. Yeah.
I think it's Manchester High School for Girls because that's where Emmeline. Okay. Emmeline looked like she was approving and involved and enrolled her own children.
I'm happy with that to be defined as the map point.
Okay, whereabouts in here? Should I put it where the Taekwondo Warriors meet, or by the Fallowfield Church, or the Willow Cottage?
Warriors.
Yeah, Taekwondo. This would have happened by the.
Cottage. It wouldn't have been that at the time, would it? It'd have been. They wouldn't have had Taekwondo warriors in the 50s.
Do you think the Taekwondo warriors met at Manchester High School for Girls in the 1950s? I would say probably not.
Be really early adopters in.
Well, no.
Right?
Hang on. Suffragettes, martial arts.
Well, they did have a martial art, didn't they? Yeah.
Look up suffragitsu. The suffragettes were so radical, they were fully happy to do violence, and they got people over. They got people over. They learnt jujitsu, and they got the suffragettes into fields, and they were like, "Look, a lot of us, we're women, right? And the people who are attacking us are men, and they are bigger, and they have more physical strength. But jujitsu is always about like throwing people and using their strength against them, right?
Yeah.
It is the perfect martial art for when your opponent is bigger than you. So it was the martial art and also it was to teach women to deal with domestic violence. If your fella's getting back home from the pub and he's been on, the bitters, literally topple him to the ground. Look at this stuff. And also, this is how, if a policeman is trying to apprehend you, because the suffragettes fucking rule. If the policeman is trying to apprehend you, here is how you fucking break his wrist and get him into an arm lock.
Yeah.
Fucking
that is good, isn't it?
Rules.
All right. So it was probably suffragitsu at the time then.
It was probably yeah, exactly. It was probably suffragitsu at the time. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, scary suffragettes. All right for now. Okay, the floor is once again yours.
Right. So this happened in the students' common room, right? And they were doing a Ouija board.
Mm-hmm.
And they get contact with an entity at some point, like supposedly, and it's like pushing out messages, and they're getting frightened, and then it's like, you will all die, and then it like does a date, and then immediately everyone in the room begins to get static electric shocks off everything in the room. Like, everyone's leaping out of their seats, like people completely unconnected to the event that was happening. Like, they're just playing like glide hockey or something. Not that they'd have that, it'd be like the 70s equivalent. Probably just push hockey. And like, they're all getting zapped off everything. Just static. And apparently this went on for months. Like, people were like, they had to close the room down. And they got like an electrician in to like check everything, to like see if there's like, like a live earth going into this common room, because everyone's getting electric shocks off everything. That's apparently really painful as well. It was like fully jumping, and the room was just left unusable for months apparently until it just stopped happening.
One of the theories I've heard about when people like look into why there are certain areas that make people scared, like there seems to be there are just certain places that people are like, that's haunted, and everyone believes it, and everyone has stories about going there and feeling something's off. And one of the theories, I don't think there's any scientific merit to it, but it has an intuitive energy to it, which is really old electrics just can make some kind of electromagnetic field that makes us feel off and weird and strange, and we don't like it, and it makes us jittery, and then we interpret things as being hostile, malicious, or paranormal. I think there's nothing to it. It's an interesting theory.
Isn't that more likely to be to do with like there's something harmonic, like basically really, really low sound waves that you can't quite hear, but happen to have a particular resonance with the fear centers in your brain. So there can be literally like a bad fan in a place can make you frightened in a room just because it's putting out this specific audio frequency.
Well, it's very similar, isn't it? It's the idea that there being just a scientific, measurable thing that's making our brain feel scary, wacko stuff,
You know what's like?
But the reason I bring
incredible
this
to
one
me
up, oh yeah, go on.
About like electricity is it doesn't move down the wire.
Oh, you're talking about the fact that actually the electrons in a copper wire are actually moving at the same speed as like a snail, right? Because it's like
all the power
it's like a Newton's cradle.
Comes from the magnetic field.
Oh,
That's
yes,
what's like
I
driving your computer. It's the thing moving not down the wire, but around it and outside of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the bit that's actually doing all the work. I always think that's amazing.
I think electricity is just fantastic, don't you?
It's handy, right?
Oh yeah.
I like
Power
it.
and stuff.
It's letting us talk right now.
The streaming.
Yeah.
Couldn't do without it, honestly.
Couldn't do this on Steam, could you?
The reason I brought up... Oh, can I do this on Steam Power? No way. The reason I brought up the electricity one is because you're saying they're getting static shocks. So you're linking a place that everyone's really scared of with fucked wires.
Mm.
However, I think that's a red herring because it is the Ouija board, isn't
the
it?
electrician didn't find anything. That's the thing.
Who didn't find anything? The priest?
Meters. Didn't find any issue. Didn't like fix a wire or a connection. It just eventually the whatever they opened the doorway closed itself or dissipated.
I remember telling a lot of people at school that I let a ghost out. Told them on the bus.
Yeah.
And they fully... It did their heads in. They hated me telling this to them.
You let it off the bus?
No. I just told them that I'd let a ghost out at home. And it was just around. The catchment for my school was only 3 villages. So it's not like... they definitely felt there was something coming down. Something would be coming down one of the 3 roads for them.
Right.
But I feel like Ouija board belief was quite high. Do you know that the Ouija boards were originally explicitly marketed just as a game that was fun because you can't tell who's pushing it, and then only later became associated with yeah. They were just a funny game, and then the ghost stuff got attached to it, and then it's never been able to just be a normal game again.
Yeah, I mean you can see why, right? Because it is a sort of spooky thing to happen. I believe it's to do with like just minute muscle contractions that you naturally do. Like you're never perfectly still, and when you've got 4 different people with slightly different strengths and upper arm stuff, it will just move around. But you know, that's skeptic brain, isn't it? That's no fun.
I think I can be perfectly still.
You're moving though, aren't you? Your actual muscles are still going to be just, even if it's a tiny amount, moving.
Yeah, most of the time. But if I try, I can knock all that on the head. Is what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I could just knock that on the head.
I think...
for a bit.
How would you prove that? You'd have to have really sensitive camera equipment to, like...
Yeah.
Focus in down at the minutiae. I reckon you'd find
and do you know
that
what?
Just being still is actually really, really, really hard.
You think so? No, it'll be even easier because you're not having to move. It should be easier to move.
Have you ever tried?
Yeah, I'll do it now. I'll do it now. I'll get big even. So you can use this equipment. Okay, you ready?
All right. Yeah. You're still moving for me.
No, I haven't started yet.
Okay. You're gonna tell me when you start?
No, I can't because that'll be moving.
Do I need to count you in?
Huh?
I count you in, and I go 1, 2, 3, and then on 3 you're still.
No, I'll tell you when I'm ready. Okay.
All right. Fair enough.
Because you have to lower your heart rate a little bit first.
Yeah. Get relaxed.
And then you have to stop having thoughts. You know how your brain's always going.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm ready to go. I think I'm ready to go.
Mantra.
You ready?
Yeah.
this is not a good time. Sorry,
now
kid.
here's a guy with no
Damn,
worries.
where's the fire department?
Thank you so much for triggering the welcome bear. I love seeing new faces in the chat, and I love seeing this community grow
Dr. Clem,
from strength.
it's
to
got that
strength.
taste that you just won't forget.
Thank you so much for triggering the welcome bear. I love seeing new faces in the chat. I love seeing this community go from strength to strength.
Milk tree.
Egg, egg, egg. Egg.
Egg, egg. 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 Egg,
Milk
egg.
tree.
Egg.
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 Egg, egg.
Egg. Egg.
Egg.
Egg. Egg.
Egg.
Egg.
Egg.
Egg. Egg.
For the purposes of this experiment, we're using an egg.
Egg. Egg.
Egg.
Egg.
For the purposes of this experiment, we're using an egg.
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 Egg. Egg. Egg.
Milk tree. Milk tree. Milk tree.
For the purposes of this experiment, we're using an egg. For the purposes of this experiment, we're using an egg. In the back room of my dad's house, which is a conservatory, it's where we had a telly set up, and it's where I had my 360. Yeah, that's a great image of my dad's conservatory. That's exactly what it looks like. That's perfect. Spot on, thank you. That's horrible. It's on the wall. Is that actual shit smeared on the wall?
No, it's the paint coming off. The paint's coming off.
Okay. It was a CRT television, if you want to make it look